UFC history broken. First ever disqualification shocks the world. Welcome to Fights, the ultimate home of UFC breaking news, shocking updates, and every story that sets the MMA universe on fire. Stay tuned because here, the real action begins. UFC's first ever disqualification shakes the octagon, a night that changed MMA forever. The UFC Octagon has been home to countless legendary battles, unforgettable knockouts, and moments that redefined mixed martial arts. But what happened today's fight has carved out an entirely new chapter in the sport's unpredictable history. For the first time ever, fans around the globe witness an outcome so rare and so dramatic that it has sent shockwaves through the MMA community, sparking immediate outrage, heated debate, and speculation about what this unprecedented ruling means for the future of the UFC. The fight began like any other, with intensity radiating from both corners and anticipation hanging thick in the air. Fans expected a war of attrition, a battle of wills that would crown a clear winner inside the cage. Instead, they got chaos. The contest took an unexpected turn when an illegal strike was delivered with devastating impact, leaving one fighter unable to continue. In the past, illegal moves have led to point deductions, warnings, or no contests, depending on intent and severity. But this time, the referee took an uncompromising stance, ruling an immediate disqualification. The crowd erupted in disbelief. Commentators struggled to find words, and fighters watching cageside were visibly shaken. Disqualifications are not unheard of in combat sports, but the UFC has prided itself on being a promotion where fighters are given every chance to compete fairly, recover from fouls, and finish their bouts inside the cage. Today shattered that perception. The referee's decision marked the first time such a call had been made under circumstances this severe, and the precedent set could ripple far beyond the single night. For the fighter on the receiving end, it was a shocking victory that will forever carry an asterisk. For the fighter disqualified, it was a career-altering moment that may define his legacy more than any win or loss could. Almost instantly, social media exploded. Fans flooded Twitter, Instagram, and fight forums, arguing over whether the referee acted too harshly or whether the disqualified fighter's actions truly warranted such a ruling. Some argued that intent should have mattered, that accidents are part of a sport as chaotic as MMA, while others praised the decision as a bold statement in favor of fighter safety. Prominent fighters chimed in with their takes, some recalling past fights where they endured far worse fouls with little consequence, while others applauded the UFC for finally taking a zero-tolerance stance. In the immediate aftermath, the disqualified fighter appeared devastated, protesting his innocence and pleading that the foul was accidental. His opponent, still shaken but victorious, expressed mixed emotions. Winning in such a fashion is bittersweet, and the fighter made it clear that he wanted the fight to be decided by skill and perseverance, not by an official's ruling. Nevertheless, the record books will forever reflect this outcome, and history has already been written. Behind the scenes, the UFC faces difficult questions. This decision sets a precedent that could alter officiating standards moving forward. Will referees now feel compelled to issue harsher punishments for fouls, even if accidental? Will fighters be more cautious in their striking, fearful of throwing techniques that could result in disqualification? The answers could redefine the competitive landscape of MMA. Moreover, the controversy puts the spotlight squarely on the rules themselves. While the unified rules of mixed martial arts have been criticized for years, this moment may accelerate calls for reform. Clearer guidelines regarding intent, severity, and appropriate punishment may become necessary to avoid future chaos. The financial and career implications are enormous. A loss by disqualification carries a stigma unlike any other result. Sponsors, fans, and promoters may view the disqualified fighter differently, questioning his discipline or sportsmanship even if the foul was unintentional. At the same time, the victorious fighter now faces the burden of defending a win that some will never consider legitimate. A rematch is inevitable, but the cloud of controversy will hang over both men no matter what happens in their next meeting. Beyond the fighters themselves, the UFC as a brand faces a crossroads. Today's event has sparked conversation not only among hardcore fans, but also across mainstream media. Headlines declaring the sport's first ever disqualification have caught the attention of casual viewers, some of whom will interpret this as proof of MMA's chaotic and dangerous nature. For an organization that has worked tirelessly to present itself as a disciplined, professional sport on par with boxing and football, this is both an opportunity and a challenge. The UFC can either embrace this moment as a turning point for fairness and fighter safety, or risk being viewed as inconsistent and unpredictable in its rule enforcement. What makes this incident even more fascinating is how it compares to other controversial endings in UFC history. From John Jones's disqualification early in his career for illegal elbows, to Aljamain Sterling's title win after an illegal knee from Patreon, fans have seen high-profile fights end in controversy, yet none carried the same finality as tonight. In those cases, debates raged over intent and fairness, but the sport carried on with its usual ambiguity. This time, however, the UFC stands at the edge of a new era, where a single mistake, accidental or not, can erase months of training and dreams of championship glory. As the dust settles, one thing is clear. Tonight's disqualification will be remembered for years to come. It will be studied by referees in training, debated endlessly by fans, and referenced every time a foul occurs in the future. The fighters involved may go on to achieve greatness, but this moment will always be part of their legacy. For the UFC, this is not just a footnote in history, it is a turning point that forces the sport to confront the balance between fairness, safety, and the raw unpredictability that makes MMA so captivating. The road ahead is uncertain. Appeals may be filed, rematches may be booked, and rules may be rewritten. But no matter what happens next, the image of that referee waving off the fight, declaring the first ever disqualification under such extraordinary circumstances, will remain etched in the memory of every fan who witnessed it live. For better or worse, this is the night the UFC changed forever. Thanks for watching Fights, your front row seat to every knockout, comeback, and breaking UFC moment. Like, share, and subscribe to never miss the next big fight.